Welcome back to Forgotten Hollywood. Let's face it, when it comes to shark movies, Jaws is lightning in a bottle. And try as they might, no one has been able to duplicate that level of storytelling the film pulled off. So what's the smart filmmaker to do? Simple! Don't try. With movies like The Meg, Meg 2, and the Sharknado franchise, it's clear that ridiculous shark movies can be popular. Of course, these have more in common with The Expendables than the Steven Spielberg classic, and can be a lot of fun when you're in the mood for a goofy action movie. However, there are some that take the B-movie feel all the way down to F. These mostly made-for-TV movies seem to be relying on the word shark and girls in bikinis to get people to watch, not even providing enough budget to afford a good script. If you think I'm being too harsh, take a look at a week's worth of terrible shark movies. Sunday, Deep Blue Sea. The only theatrical release on this list, which allows for a much bigger budget and better effects. However, spectacle does not a good movie make. The plot for this film seems to be going for a shark version of The Thing. A group of researchers in an isolated location being hunted by a predator. However, unlike The Thing, this plot is ridiculous and the action is worse. Who needs physics? We have super sharks! There's also the Jaws method of defeating said sharks. Seriously, each shark is defeated the same way as the ending of Jaws 1, 2, or 3. The one plus side to this movie is that the actors weren't bad, resulting in the highest IMDb rating on this list being 5.9 out of 10. Monday, Cocaine Shark. To be honest, this hardly counts as a shark movie as the only sharks are mutant hybrids. There is a drug that makes you think you're a shark, and this is done by the actor laying on a bed and opening and closing their mouth while filters try to imply that the character is high. I couldn't find a budget for this masterpiece, but it appears to have been around $50 for the claymation sculptures and papier-mâché materials for the head of the shark man. The sets look like each scene was filmed in either a high school basement or somebody's lake house. The acting reminded me of summer camp when the counselors are tasked with writing and acting in skits to teach the campers good lessons like hiking safety or be kind to others. Yeah, it was that bad. Earning an IMDb rating of just 2.3 out of 10. Tuesday, Maneater. This movie actually tried to be a serious shark movie, to the point where it seemed to be trying to be Jaws. There are even references to multiple films in the Jaws franchise. That's actually the biggest problem for me, is it seems to be a low-budget attempt at remaking Jaws. There is a grieving parent concerned for lost revenue in a tourist town, one man who understands the danger, who can't get the officials to listen to him, a professional fisherman who needs a bigger boat. They even recreate the scene on the beach where the girl strips and runs into the water while her boyfriend clumsily tries to do the same. Jaws should not be remade, especially not with a modern flair. Audiences understand this, which explains the IMDb rating of 3.1 out of 10. Wednesday, Toxic Shark. Sharks and zombies. This premise was written by 4th graders. I'm not kidding. This movie is about a shark with a spout on his head that sprays toxic sludge on his victims, turning them into zombies. So, not only do the main characters have to try to survive this shark, they also need to survive the army of infected tourists trying to kill them. Who thought this was a good idea? Apparently the Sci-Fi Channel, who made this film with a budget of $500,000. This came together to get an IMDb rating of 3.3 out of 10. Thursday, Five-Headed Shark Attack. This was actually the third movie in a 4-film franchise, which I didn't know about until after I watched it. The previous ones being Two-Headed Shark Attack and Three-Headed Shark Attack. I have a feeling this was meant to be Four-Headed Shark Attack, but for some reason they decided to bump it up halfway through production. That's the only reason I can think of as to why a 4-headed shark grows a 5th head in its tail halfway through the movie. The computer graphics were as realistic as Beauty and the Beast from 1991. It was also oppressively heavy in its environmental messaging, not allowing more than 2 scenes to pass without someone talking about pollution or global warming. This likely contributed to the IMDb rating of an even 3 out of 10. Friday, Santa Jaws. Honestly, this movie put me to sleep. It's about an angry teenager who draws a comic of a killer shark, and then the shark comes to life and starts eating his family. It's like somebody watched Jaws and Home Alone, then tried to figure out how to connect the two. I don't remember much that was redeeming about this film, but I did sleep through most of it. The graphics were on par with a low-quality video games. However, the ending was as close to happy as a movie like this can be. Maybe that's what gave it the second highest IMDb rating on this list, with a 4 out of 10. Saturday, Sharkenstein. From the makers of Cocaine Shark, this one might actually be worse. It's about a man-made shark monster built as a killing machine and based on research the Germans were doing during World War II. On top of that, the main characters are 3 grown adults that act like they're 12. One read a warning about the deaths of boaters and beachgoers at their planned vacation spot where, by chance, they rented a boat. And another responds, "People go missing on the ocean every day." The movie goes downhill from there. They use digitally created fire for a torch. Instead of using a lighter for actual fire, they use computer graphics. This is probably because later they had to actually burn a building down and couldn't because it wasn't in their budget. So they wanted all fire in the movie to look the same. And they ended up with this, which just looks bad any way you look at it. Again, it seemed to have very little budget to speak of and carries an IMDb rating of 2.1 out of 10. There you have it. 7 mind-numbingly bad shark movies. If you want my advice, you'd be better served having a Sharknado marathon than watching these movies in a week. And I say that from personal experience. For the best shark movie out there, stick with Jaws. If you want something ridiculous, try The Meg. Can't beat the classics. Thanks for watching. What's your favorite shark movie? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Click that bell for notifications, and I will catch up with you next time.